episode 93 of PIV's NXT Point of View podcast. My name is Bill Pivots. So this week we had the women's match between Daria Berenato and Billie Kay, and we also had the Fatal 4-Way elimination match to determine the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. The show kicked off with Daria versus Billie. Peyton Royce was at ringside. Daria pretty much charged at Billie Kay, took her down, and drove her knee right into the back. Peyton Royce almost got involved, but it was enough to have Billie Kay take control. Didn't last long, though. Daria took her gloves off and connected with some strikes to the chest. She went for a superwoman punch, but Royce pulled Kay out of the ring, and the two went up the ramp. Daria went after them, brought Kay back into the ring. The referee was checking on Billie Kay, which allowed Peyton Royce to drive Daria into the apron. Kay then won with her big boot. They tossed Daria out of the ring and cut a promo. They called out Asuka, saying that they are her competition, and the crowd pretty much just shit all over them during this promo. The match didn't go too long. Wasn't really anything to get invested in. It was more about the post-match stuff with building up Billie Kay and Peyton Royce than it was for the actual match. Daria pretty much got squashed on here. And the punches themselves from Daria, they weren't the greatest. They kind of looked like Shane McMahon's kind of half-hearted punches there. So they need a little work. She needs a little more work, but it's more of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce for this one. Second match was the Authors of Pain versus two jobbers. Jobber 1 was thrown into the corner as the Authors of Pain slammed him down. Jobber 2 stepped down and tried to walk away, but he was cut off by one of the Authors of Pain. Couldn't really determine who. They then did their double powerbomb spot. They slammed the one guy down, and then they went to slam his partner down, but the back of the second guy's head crushed the bottom guy's face, and he wasn't moving. He had to be held up. The referee called for the match at that point. The crowd just, you could feel their stomachs sinking to the bottom of their abdomen there. It was a horrible sight. I saw the video a few weeks ago, and I didn't think they would actually air it, but they did, and it looked just as bad watching it live. The match only lasted about 1 minute and 20 seconds, so it wasn't really much to get involved in. After the match, Paul Ellering did cut a promo. He said that all roads lead to San Antonio, and the Authors of Pain are on a seek and destroy mission to become the tag team champions. As for the show, it wasn't a good first 15 minutes. The women's match was whatever, and this tag match, I think they wanted to go a little longer, but it was cut short by a few minutes. Backstage, Asuka was interviewed. She said that Royce and Kay are no competition, and they need to be careful. Nikki Cross was kind of just chilling in the wayside, and she was creeping around and then laughed as she walked away. We then got a recap of the 4 singles matches leading to the Fatal 4-Way match, which was between Bobby Roode, Ty Dillinger, Andrade Cien Almas, and Roderick Strong. It was confirmed that the winner gets a title shot against Shinsuke Nakamura at TakeOver San Antonio. Dillinger did come out last. I'm not sure if it means anything, but I liked it. He's over the crowd. They responded to that by giving the babyface out last. Cien stayed in his corner when the bell rang. Roode rolled out of the ring, and he was surrounded by both Strong and Dillinger. Cien landed a baseball slide, taking out, I think, Dillinger, and then Strong hit 1-2 to open the match, which then led to the first commercial break. There wasn't much more action later. Cien landed, he went for a moonsault on Dillinger and Strong, but they moved out of the way. Roode clotheslined the two babyfaces and was in control for a while. Strong then took out all 3 opponents with a corkscrew dive to the outside, which was the second commercial break. After this is where the action started to pick up. Roode was still in control, but the other 3 opponents actually began to recover, and they landed a huge Tower of Doom spot. Almas then went after Dillinger. Roderick landed a kick to eliminate Almas. Strong then went after Ty, but Dillinger connected with the tiebreaker to eliminate him, which then leaves us with Bobby Roode and Ty Dillinger as the remaining 2. Ty seemed focused and ready as he stared down Bobby Roode. He landed a close pin after a roll-up. Roode then brought in a chair, but Ty countered it with the super kick. Now, I'm going to go on a little tangent here, but Fatal 4-Way matches and triple threats are obviously no disqualification because if one guy uses a weapon, who do you award the win to? The guy that got hit with the weapon? Because that's not fair to the third man. So the same concept applied here, but when it's down to Roode and Dillinger, and Roode wants to use a chair, why can't they just award Dillinger the win if he did connect with it? The other 2 are already eliminated from the match, and he used the weapon, and the only other person left would be Ty Dillinger. Just the confusion of the rules on my part, I guess, but he countered the chair spot. Roode did counter the tiebreaker into a nice spinebuster. He then went for the DDT, but Ty countered that into his finisher and got the longest near fall ever. The crowd, myself, we all bought into it. We all thought he was going to win there after he hit his finisher. It was an excellent near fall, a great spot. Dillinger attempted a super tiebreaker from the top rope, but Rude escaped and placed Ty on the top rope. He then sprung up and landed the implant DDT to get the win. Great Fatal 4-Way match. Typical WWE format a little bit as far as some action and then the quick eliminations. They do that in those tag team turmoil matches and that kind of thing. It made sense for it to come down to Dillinger and Rude. They already have the built-in feud among the four. Roderick Strong and Cien Almas were in there just to counteract the babyface and heel. They have great chemistry, Rude and Dillinger do, and I want to see them fight again. I'm assuming if Rude wins the title that his first feud could be with Ty Dillinger, get him in that spotlight. But as far as the four-way, it was great. I enjoyed it. It didn't last too long with Roderick Strong and Cien Almas, but they had their spots in there. They looked good. They're going to be the next group of main eventers after Nakamura and Samoa Joe are eventually called up to the main roster. Those are going to be the guys that are going to be taking their spot. As for the show, it was obviously a one-match episode. The women's match really didn't do anything, and the tag match ended before it even started. I didn't think it was going to last much longer than it actually did, but it sucks that it was cut short. And the Fatal 4-Way was I think it's 20, maybe 15, 20 minutes or so. We do have another month until TakeOver San Antonio, so I'm hoping they start building things up. The last few weeks of NXT have been borderline good at best. We just got the number one contender for the NXT title, so I'm hoping things are going to get rolling. We still have the tag team title match. It's either going to be... I know because we have the match between DIY and the Revival in a couple weeks, and the winner of that will face Authors of Pain at TakeOver. So we kind of have that going. With the way they're going here, it's going to be Asuka versus maybe Billie Kay for the NXT Women's Championship. And then that's only 3 matches. We still have about 2 or 3 more matches on the card to fill. So we'll see what the undercard looks like, but I think that's going to be the 3 championship matches. As for next week, we really didn't get anything advertised. There might be a 2016 recap show, considering next week is about, January or December 28th? Something like that. So I don't think they're going to do an episode. They might just do like a best of 2016. I think they did something like that last year. But we'll see. Should be good to see the last year of NXT, how it's evolved. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to Piv's NXT Point of View podcast. I may be back next week, depending if it's a recap show or not. I know I have plans going on with the new year and the holidays, so I may be able to squeeze that in there. I'll let you know on Twitter. Speaking of that, follow me on Twitter at bpiv_sports. Comment, like, subscribe to the show on YouTube. I wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you guys celebrate. And also, I wish you a Happy New Year. Be safe, be well. Peace.